Good evening, salutations, my soap opera fans. So, part two. Now, Nina's time is running out, part two. Let the truth come to light on General Hospital. Now, as always, we do sit there and talk about all the shows, but just going into General Hospital, I call this part two because I did the part one on the member circle. Not a member, click the, well, there's going to be a link. You can sit there and click it and become a member. But yeah, we saw it. People are sitting there wondering, well, we don't know if Michael really knows that Nina is the one that, if Michael knows that it's Nina that sold out his mom. And we knew. And we knew today, too. And what Michael was sitting there doing, besides actually being kind of a badass in a lot of ways, was, well, he was just getting confirmation on something he already knew. And, of course, Marty folded like there was no tomorrow. Because, I mean, let's be honest. He pretty much was like, yo, listen, I know she did it, and I'm going to sit there and tell my dad he did it. She did it. The only difference is, are you going to go down with her? So, I mean, I don't know how trustworthy Martin's actually going to be moving forward because, again, he could have just sat there and stuck to his guns, but, he folded. Now, I did have issues with the fact that Michael did use Sonny as a threat. Not that long ago, he was trying to put him in prison for the same scariness that he normally does. With that being aside, Michael was handling business. He summoned him. He was like, yo, listen, I want you to come to my place now. And I was with it. Now, as always, we do sit there and talk about all the shows, GH, Days, Wine Art, and B&B. Let's do a little let's do a little roll call and get this started. Jackie P, how you doing tonight? LaShanta's in the chat. How's everything going? De Havlin's in the chat. How you doing tonight? I gotta sit there and check on the bells and whistles. You know how we sit there and do it every night. I don't know how long I'm actually going to be on. I think I may only be on for an hour and a half because I do got to wake up stupid early. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's check some stuff. Makai's in the chat. How are you doing tonight? Thank you for joining as always. Laura B's in the chat. How's everything going? Makai's in the chat. How are you doing? And Justin, our new person, is in the chat. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining us a second time tonight. Thank you for joining us for the second time. Lashanta says Marty arrogant blank the reason Lucy had to give and the Tracy. Yeah, I mean he did sit there and you know, we're good. This well, I don't know about arrogant, but he did sit there and give her the information um Lucy, and now she's in violation of practically copywriting and everything, so she got that going on. Yes, let's welcome again our newest person in the chat, Justin. It's good to see you again. Just, I feel like I have not stopped moving since I actually got back home at 1:30, and I just there was so many things I had to check, forgot to check. I almost actually forgot to eat. Now, yes. Now, LaShanta says, I'm glad Sasha's leaving. Why are you glad Sasha's leaving for? Melly Mel, my horror queen, how you doing tonight? Why are you glad that Sasha's leaving? Dolly's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Yep, usually do. I'm gonna sit there and try to watch it tonight a little bit before I go to bed. Even if it's like 10 minutes. The thing is, the show's only 30 minutes, so even if I watch 10 minutes before I go to bed, I'm already like a step ahead. I can sit there and try to finish watching it in the morning and just go from there. Yeah, yes, and it was good, Gemini. Yes, Michael definitely did his thing. Michael definitely did his thing. And it's good to see you again, Gemini. And we got a new person. Miss J's house is in the chat. I can't wait until Nina is busted. I'm so over her. And let's everyone welcome Miss J's house. Seriously, let's welcome Miss J's house. Justin says Willow won't be happy with what Michael kept from her. I'm pretty sure he's going to sit there and clue her in. But yes, let's welcome Miss J's house. Darby says, don't you mean Marty's weak blank giving up Nina? Yo, he folded like a presso. He folded like a effing presso. Yes, let's welcome the new person. Mel says, I got good news. I know who Mamie's solid partner is. Oh, okay, all right. Well, listen, don't tell me. Don't tell me, Mel. I want to be a surprise. I want to actually be a surprise now. What's good, Darby? I'm gonna double check on that, Laura B. I didn't even get a chance to check. I'm gonna double check on that. Also, I got a surprise for everyone tonight. I got a surprise for everyone tonight. Gemini says, Albert, how is your friend? Yeah, he's doing a lot better. He got, Gemini, he got a thank you for asking. He does got a road ahead of him. He got a long road of recovery ahead of him. So but he's in rough shape. I'll sit there and say that much. But he's if he does everything that he needs to do as far as medication and stuff like that, I think he'll pull through. So, but it was good. It was good seeing him yesterday. It was good seeing him. But thank you for asking, Gemini. But yes, Miss J's house. That's how we do it. That's how we do it in the chat. Every time somebody new comes in, we give them a warm welcome. What's good, Big Nate? How was the show today? They were mixed. They were good for the most part. I can't sit there and say they were actually bad. They were good for the most part. I could have did without the Willow and Wiley scene. I guess so, Lobby. I gotta sit there and double check on that. Yeah, no, that's how we do. That's how we do Monday through Friday, Miss J's house. As Holly returns, Chambers as Holly returns. Oh, okay. Autumn says, I read a spoiler that Cyrus is going to target Trina because Cyrus is desperate for a family connection. So considering Cyrus is Spencer's great, oh, he's going to target Trina. Wow, that's kind of stupid of him to do. I feel like that's like the exact opposite that wouldn't work. And Judy is another person who's new in the chat. I mean, I know it's like your second time, but it's good to see you in the chat for a second time. It's good to see you for the first time, Miss Chase House. Ooh, Miss. Yeah. Do you watch the other shows, Miss Chase House, or just one? And same thing with you, Judy. What soap operas do you watch? What's good, Duan? Miss Chase says, I can't believe Willow is drinking the Nina Kool-Aid already. I mean, it was kind of an uphill battle, but the thing is, Miss J is it's not going to matter because once she's exposed, it's going to be a wrap, and she's going to lose all that she had. What's good, Duan? Thank you, Lord B. Yes, make sure you do hit the like button. We got 23 people in the chat. I have no idea how many people. Yes, make sure you do hit the like button. Judy says days and GH. Okay, cool. I usually try to review days. I've been actually doing that a lot more, so I'm very happy about that. Lashanta says I knew that bracelet. That bracelet's bad luck. Yes, exactly. You got to welcome Judy. Lobby says sorry, I forgot so many people new and coming back that I don't know. It get confusing. Yeah, I mean it's always good to sit there and see some new faces, and it's always good to sit there and see some familiar faces. So that's cool. Hollis is going to work aside. Is going to work. Oh, a shy with you at the restaurant. Okay, all right, that's what's up. And Duan is like, I'm still Team Taylor. Okay. Hi, broski. I feel you. I feel you. Bobby says I'd rather drink Nina's Kool-Aid than Harmony's brand of yeah, I agree with that. And Ida's in the chat. How you doing tonight, Ida? Let's see how many likes we have. Resisting gone raw. Oh, I gotta sit there and see this resisting video. Let's see. Yeah, Lashanta, I feel like that's a daily thing now. That's a daily occurrence with that woman. Okay, so we got 10 likes. Got 10 likes. We got 25 people in the chat. You enjoying the stream, make sure you hit the like button. It really does help. Also, hit the join button. Got 74 members. I feel like I need a drink every time I think about that number. Yes, she finally effing stood up. I was like, yo, listen. I mean, my whole thing is like RJ should have just got security and just threw her ass out, to be honest. He literally RJ should have got security and threw her out. That's what he should have did. Yo, I don't understand why Lee is yes, Lobby. I don't understand why Lee is acting like the Wicked Witch of the West now. You know? I mean, she was completely disrespectful. And it's like you're talking about the girl, you're talking about your niece's mother, right? You're talking about your niece's mother. How Tom got a house, unprofessional Steffi would never. You know, LaShanta, he did it on Eric's desk. Darby says, who made me more mad today? Brooke or Lee? Both got on my nerves. Yeah, but I feel like Lee kind of takes it though. Ambassador Sam, how you doing today, my friend? Thank you for joining. How was your evening? The Haviland says, is Jack Lee's father. I feel as though there's another reason why Lee wants Luna going. That is the going rumor right now. That is the going rumor right now. That is the going rumor, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's true. I really wouldn't. It would make sense. Gemini says, "What happened to our house yesterday? I thought someone was. Oh, they are. They are. So they're gonna be here soon. They're gonna be here soon. Yeah, I'm glad you remember. Well, I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that, Ambassador Sam. Double C's in the chat was good. Yes, it's always good to see you, though, Ambassador Sam. Ambassador, our class going to have Ava come to state for a work proposal. Just makes okay. Is this a spoiler or is this a guess? I'm trying to keep it somewhat spoiler free. So is this a guess or a spoiler? Yeah, he I don't know. Just don't know. Bishopta says, "Sorry, so stupid. Why is Anna trying?" I mean, she did kind of blow it a little out of proportion, to be honest. Though, like seriously did. Duane says, but RJ or Luna aren't forced employees. Eric gave his seat out a long time ago, so they're really okay. All right, Duane, I'm gonna have to agree to disagree with you on that one. Um, yeah, no, Gemini, no, Luna is Lee's niece. Of course, he treats her like dirt, but Lobby says James said that Jack was a doctor, so I believe it. But the Wick says lawyer, so I'm confused. All right, Russ. Well, I like to. I mean, here's the thing. I know, James. It's possible he could have got that confused. Though. He could have actually got that confused. Let's take a look. It's a true. It is a true spoiler that makes sense. That. Oh, okay. All right. I appreciate it, man. Um. let's try to keep the spoilers to the. Let's try to keep the spoilers to the horror movies down. I know some fans would want to be spoiled. What the? This is so irritating. I know. Yeah, the dude's a lawyer. Like I don't understand why he's here talking about he's a exactly he's a lawyer. Thank you. I don't know. I think James just got confused. Yes, he's a lawyer. Thank you. Was good last day. And RJ is just helping as well. It's his family company. He works there. um. Yeah, Jack is a lawyer. So he just got confused. That's all. It happens to everyone. Darby says I thought it was funny when Deacon stood up to Brooke and Ridge for Sheila. The only thing that would make it more entertaining would be after, which could be Sheila saying, "Tell them, Daddy." Ooh, tell them, Daddy. That sounds so weird saying. Gemini says so. Lee had the good life, and her sister was the family outcast. It seems like it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying. That's what I thought he was too. He was a lawyer. They said, "Do you know if Sasha's leaving GH? I know the character is leaving for Texas, but whatever a character says something like that, it doesn't happen unless it's confirmed." Let's take a look. Debbie says, "Nope. Saying it once was already enough. Saying it once was already enough." Devlin says, "Seems like they changed his profession for story reasons." What am I doing? James and Tammy said, "Doctor, when he had an affair with Sheila." No, I mean I get that, but no, he's a lawyer though. Joshua Cook is in the chat. What's good? Jonathan's in the chat. What's good, Jonathan? Yeah, Darby, that was super cringe. I was like, I don't think it's possible for me to sit there and do that again. Last day says I got, however, just got over a 3 day cold that made me miss work yesterday. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Nope, he's a lawyer. Not a what? Oh, hold on. No, hold on. Jack wasn't okay. Wasn't Jack a Doctor, not a lawyer. We're looking close. Wow. Okay, that is a plot hole. Okay. All right. You know what? I'm gonna have to look at it and get back to y'all on that. Then I said, yes, Sasha was really confusing me today. I was screaming on my iPad like, Sasha, you do not need to meet new people. I thought it was good. I thought it was good, Jonathan. Um, I'm not gonna lie. I'm upset that I'm still upset that they had Clyde kill Abby because he went through so much work to sit there and be a better person, a better father, a better grandfather. And I feel like the only reason why he actually had to kill Abby was because the actress wanted to leave. And that's something that still never sat right with me to this day. Other than that, I thought it was good. Everybody says, I don't want you to get canceled over it. Oh, no, no, I'm good on that. I just thought it was super cringe. Mashata says, Michael gonna go to Nina and tell her to confess, or he will. And Jay Blue's in the chat was good. Jay Blue. Yeah, I'm actually glad you are feeling better. Sorry you did actually had to go through it though. Nicole, what's good, Nicole? Lame way to reveal Nina. Yeah, they could have did that. They could have did that. It's not like she was the first person to play Abby. That's the problem too, Johnson. It wasn't like she was the first person to play Abby. Now, oh, okay, hold on. Oh, Opera Doc's in the chat. What's good, Opera Doc? It actually has been a long time. I'm not ignoring anyone, I promise. I'm just setting something up. So I'm going to oh wow. Yeah, of course. Last day, you're my guy. You know I got I got you. And plus, trust me, last day, it sucks to actually have a cold. It sucks to be sick in general. I hate it. I can't stand it, and it just sucks in general. So I'm glad you're good. And yeah, no, that sucks, Apodoc. I had it before, so it's oof. I'm glad you're recovering though. Johnson says we saw Xander and Sarah start to make peace, and just like that, yeah, it wasn't even just. It was just like that. Like Darby says, Sarah was being her worst self today with the she turning on the tears to Xander to get him to forgive her, then flipped the switch on him when she found out he was going for full custody. Yeah, yeah, I get that. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Darby said James is also team Eric. Yeah, yep. Usually great minds think alike. Duan J Blue says it's not the custody to it's not. Okay, I'm going to miss some people in the chat, so if I do, I apologize. J Blue says it's not customary to inform victims of criminals that they are being released from jail. I don't understand all these questions that Christina is asking at the dinner. Go home. Go home. Lashanta says it's not right that Nina is living happily after and Carly is losing everything. No, okay, hold on. No, hold on. Carly lost stuff because of her. That's the thing, Lashanta. Carly lost, she lost stuff because of her. I'm sorry, but like, I know you're saying it's not right, but I mean, At some point, Cardi gotta start taking accountability for herself. She doesn't do that, you know. She invested in something and lost money. That's on her. That's not on Nina. As much as I don't like Nina, we're not doing that. Mel says Albert Corbell as Christina will return for a special occasion. Oh. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Johnson says, "What do you think Michael's end game will be?" I think he's not. I think he's not going to say anything. I I honestly think. I think Nina's going to find out what Michael did, and she's going to blackmail him, and so he won't be able to say anything. That's what I think. Dolia says, "I think Xander's big issue is he always pushes things too far." With Sarah, Sarah flipped because he called her unfit, and yes, and that's very true. That is very true. Lastly says, yes, I thought I was letting down my job, but my manager said she wants me at 100%. If I'm not 100%, I can do my job. So go home, rest, and come back. Yes, exactly. Last day. That's very important. It is. It's very important. You can't come to work kind of half-assing it. You really can't do that. So um, no, she told you. She told you the right thing. Last, Jay Blue says, will Michael tell Willow about Nina before he confronts? That's a good question. Johnson says today it looked like Willow is starting to warm up to Nina. Yeah, no, that's going to go right down the drain. He's going to get it all back. Okay. Juan says, I mean, I agree with that, LaShanta. But, the whole, Nina shouldn't live a happy life because Carly made the choices that she made, and she's in the situation that she's in because of herself. Point blank, period. Billy says, I just saw a report that they are rebooting the cartoon Gargoyles to a live action series. Well, that's what though, Dolly? Like, is it Disney? Is okay, Dolly? Is Disney doing it? I want to know if this because if Disney's not doing it, then I don't know. So you gotta let me know if Disney's actually doing it because I'm excited, but it depends on who's doing it. Yeah, exactly, JB. Like I said, she gave us some great stories. Yeah, Lobby, that's exactly what I said. I was like, I'm excited for it. It just depends on who's doing it. Their action, there's consequences. That's true, Lashonta. Yeah, I agree with that. Duane says I'm team Eric too, but I don't see Riz trying to take power from Eric. I just see Riz doing what Eric hired him to do, and that's to control forest creation. And I get that to some extent. I just don't like the way that he's being treated. Yeah, that's why I was like, I want to see who. Oh, okay. Well, then I'm cool with it. Like, if it's Disney Plus, and I'm cool with it. That's. Eh, I see where you're going, Gemini, but like I said, if it's Disney Plus, they got money, so we don't have to worry about how the special effects are going to look. That's why. That's why Jim. That's why I was like, it depends on who's doing it. Ibu said Carly made her poor choices, and she has to take the consequences. Exactly. Johnson says, if a live action Gargoyle is happening, then it will be yeah, that does it. Yep, that's it. That's important. I think Ridge is going to find out that Eric is sick and allow him to go forward with his. I hope so. Um, Darby says, I want someone to really put Michael in his place. He's been asking for a long time. Michael has been missing a personal enemy to keep him on his toes. Without one, he becomes very entitled. Like I said, I was very conflicted when I saw that scene because I do like this dark take charge Michael. I'm with it. Um I'm with it. And on the other hand, I look at it and I'm just like, bro, you an MCU change. Yep, that's very true. That's very true, Dolly. That's very true. Gemini says Eric needs to fess up and tell everybody that he's sick, especially Rich, because hiding sickness is no good. Yeah, and that's the thing, Gemini, and I agree with that too. And I know some people will sit there and say, well, is his sickness is his choice to sit there and not tell other people, how he handles it is his business. And it just pisses me off because what they don't understand is that you're robbing your loved ones of the time that you have because you choose not to say anything. And that's what bothers me. That's what bothers. Whenever people sit there and say they have a right to handle their sickness how they want to, that's true. But in my opinion, I think it's totally selfish. I stand by that 10 toes down. Mel says, Albert, I hate that Clyde is so cold, hearted, and evil. Okay. I think I personally think it's poor writing. I think it's kind of poor writing because he was actually doing good, and then he had just wanted to leave, and it was just poor writing. Ronnie Ron is in the chat, the one and only. Johnson says, I could see Nicholas coming back to antagonize Michael. He already did that year ago when he stole ELQ from him. And Lucy was kind of a POS for Smith siding with Nicholas too. So even if it's a recast, Ron, you may not be wrong. Always sit there and look at some of the stuff that you write, Ron, and it's like 10%. I have a 10% rule with you. Spiderquake, the one and only. Spider is in the chat. Probably says I think they was just scared to recast Abby again. They really lucked out that both adult actresses were, yeah. And I get it. It's lightning striking twice doesn't always happen. Yeah, I can see that as well. I can see that as well. I don't think you're wrong. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Jonathan. It is kind of cliche and kind of campy that they just have a doctor that just brings people back to life. Like, really? Gemini says exactly because my grandmother had cancer and didn't say anything until the family found out 12 years later. Guess what? The cancer came back and she is no longer here. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. It does actually piss me off. And like I said, like I said, Gemini, I know some people um will sit there and say that they can choose how they handle things, and yeah, I get that, but I do feel like it's pretty messed up. You're robbing your loved ones of people. You're robbing your loved ones of the time that you have left, and that just bothers me. How do you feel about? I felt like she went too far, Spider-Quake. I felt like she went too far. And I'm like, if here's the thing, Spider Quick, if she wants to sit there and talk to him, she could have did it in the daytime. You don't. That's the thing, Spider Quick. You don't come over somebody's house at 12 o'clock at night, um, and put their address online, and then put it in your stories. We have millions of people that is on your. You don't do that, you know. And that's the thing, Spider Quick. You know what Jack Films is doing? He wants to pressure YouTube to sit there and get her taken off the platform. Um, if that happens, I'll make a part 2 video. Double C says, I'm just happy Christine's getting her own storyline other than being Molly surrogate, but it's still going to happen. Yeah, me too. Oh shit! Hold on. Yeah, it's I mean, no, it didn't really go anywhere because it's like the minute that they talked for a little bit, it just went to crap. So yeah, exactly, Gemini. It's. My quick says I'm not making excuses for her, but she did say his address is already online. I doubt that. I really do doubt that, Spider Quake. Here's the thing, Spider Quake. Let me sit there and tell you this way. Let me sit there and tell you this much. Spider Quake, Sniper Wolf has a history of being a really bad person. Okay. She has history, a long history of doing it. This isn't the first time that she did something like this. Or just being kind of terrible. You don't do that. You don't put somebody's address on. I know that's what she said, but she's also a liar. She strung around a person. She strung around a little girl that actually had cancer, and she made it seem like it was impossible to sit there and try to spend time with her or to even FaceTime her. She was terminally ill, and she did that anyway. Like, oh, I'm so busy, this, that, and the third. The girl had cancer. Come on. Like, yeah, exactly. So, Spike, right, that's exactly why I don't believe her. That's exactly why I don't believe her. Mel says, I can see that Maggie has a heart of gold and is always, and that he is always there on Xander's side, and I see him as Victor's son. Well, yeah, I see that too. I feel like yeah, I think that's part of the story now. I think that's well, exactly. It's why quick she did it. But here's the thing, though: how long did it take for her to do that, though? That's the thing, Spike. Quick. Said, yeah, she did eventually end up calling her, but it took so long, and she had like, come on. I can't give her. I mean, I know that you like her, but I can't sit there and give her free. I can't give her excuses. That's just not what I do. Gemini says Sam and Carly's relationship got better since Sam stopped seeing Jason. Jason used to leave Sam and run to. Yeah, that was something that used to annoy the living hell out of me. Yeah, Ron, actually, tell you the truth, Darby said the same thing. Darby said the exact same thing that you're saying. Oh, no, Spider Quake. No, she teleported. No, no, that's the thing, Spider Quake. She teleported. LaShanta says Liv is going to be hot at Nina. Her husband got blamed for something. Yes. Yes. That I will agree with you on, LaShanta. That I will agree with you. Gemini says Blaze's grandma lived on the island and she visited her often. Yeah, it seemed like it was kind of convenient. Just magically appear, but yeah, okay. Gemini says, yeah, Puerto Rico was very close. Yeah, so close that it was like she was there in under 5 minutes. Joanne says, I wonder if Nicholas still loves Avery because a love as deep and twisted as theirs doesn't go away overnight. And I agree with that. Crystal says, I think Michael will blackmail Nina into giving up everything. Crystal, how you doing today? Exactly. That's the only way. That's the only way. Mel, I honestly tell you, I think Chad and Stephanie should just break up. Just, just break up at this point. Like it's like says, I never gave her excuses, but the thing is, people are busy. But if she was that busy, why contact the mother to call the daughter? Yeah, exactly. Yes. Okay. All right. I'm just not just saying, Spike. Like because when you started off, you said that she was busy. So that's what I read first. So I thought about when you started off that was going to give her an excuse. But okay. Spike, like, you remember when she? Okay, Spike, like, you remember when Sniper Wolf got upset with somebody for because they couldn't pay for their groceries? She was waiting behind somebody, and I guess the person couldn't pay for their groceries, and she got upset. Like, she got annoyed. Like, ugh. I'm like, are you serious? You make millions and millions of dollars. Somebody couldn't pay for the groceries, and you're annoyed. Like, Ron says, I was hoping that Ava and Harrison were going to take this to the bedroom, but I assumed they were moving too fast. Yeah, I mean, they did just get out of Nut House. Goddess Jess is in the chat. What's good, Jess? What is good, Jess? How are you doing? Crystal says, I'm good, feeling like it cost today kids were out from school. Yeah, I forgot it's that time of month. Johnson says, I think Abigail's returning is more likely to happen. I think Megan is having Dr. will bring her back for her latest plan. I wonder what the hell that is. Jay Blue says, I'll be okay. I'll be open to Michael blackmail Nina for her half Metrocard, but that wouldn't fly with Sonny if he finds out. Sure. Ron says, I agree with you, Robert, that Chad needs to just call. Yeah, because they're not doing any favors. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm actually about to have I'll sit there and say a surprise guest. About to have a surprise guest. They're just getting set. Now, like usual, when I sit there and do these live streams with someone, I usually can't get back to the chat. But you know, I think y'all enjoy the surprise. Most of y'all know who this person is, and if you don't know, well, you're gonna find out tonight. Christoph says Lisa's returning October 25th. There are no delays in programming. Hmm. Double C said Chad stuff reminds me of Nick and Sally. Oh, I totally forgot about talking about that today. I totally forgot about talking about that today. Jess says, I wish it was you, Jess. But Jess, whenever you want to come on here, you can. Yes. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Beyonce of the group is in the chat. The queen, the one and only. Nakesha Moore, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you? Sorry I'm late.
It's all good. Like I said, whenever you want to sit there and come through. How's it going tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. How's the chat going? Drama free?
So far, but it's only 8 something, so it's still fine.
Still early.
ZK, how you doing tonight? How's everyone? Yeah. So, what's your thoughts? I was sitting there telling people I was like, I'm gonna have a surprise guest. Most people knew who it was, but, I sit there and keep some people guessing.
We can talk about whatever. We don't have to start off with anything specific. What were you guys talking about?
Now, what was we talking about? Damn, I think we was talking about. This is the thing. Sometimes I'm sitting talking about like 4 or 5 people. I'm just like, what the hell actually was I talking about? Oh, so yeah, we were talking about Michael, pressuring, well, confirming that Nina was the one, representing him and everything like that. So, did you watch GH today?
Yeah, I got to see it today. I don't know. I'm torn. I'm conflicted because I like it when Michael is like that. I don't like it when he's like that against Sonny, but I like it when he's kind of ruthless and shows his quarterman side. So I'm kind of okay with it. We'll see how it goes.
Mhm. See, my whole thing is like I love that scene as well, but then I'm also part of me was just like, so let me get this straight. you're sitting there threatening him by just saying, "Oh, well, if Sonny finds out, he's going to do some bad stuff to you." I'm like, we're like 2 weeks ago, you want to sit there and throw that man in jail for the same scary reasons? Well, like what? So like that's the thing that bothered me about that whole thing was like Sonny. You sit there and look at Sonny like he's a villain, but now he's useful when you want to sit there and use him to intimidate people. Like that's what just like blows me about him sometimes.
Yeah, I would have rather him use like his influence as the quartermains of what he could have did to Martin instead of using Sonny. Because for like a year now, did the screen just flash?
Yeah, but you good now. No, that actually, yeah. See, that would have been more interesting. But you know how they always sit there and say it's like usually the fans could sit there and make better stories than sometimes the writers, which I'm not gonna get into. Um, but it's true. It would make more sense for him to sit there and use connections or whatever. Like, hey, I can ruin your law career or something like that. Or something along those lines instead of just going straight for using Sunny.
Yeah, I don't like the shift. It seems like it's happening in the story where Nina actually did something wrong. Like what did Michael said something to Martin that he said someone was working behind the scenes to push the SEC. That wasn't the story that we showed. They showed that Nina got Martin to turn them in, but she wasn't conniving behind the scenes, like bribing people, trying to move chess pieces around. It wasn't that nefarious of her. I hope that they don't rewrite it to make it like she's that much of a villain, because that
Yeah.
was how it was shown.
Yes, and that's my whole thing though. I feel like even the people that don't like Nina is like, well, the thing is, it's not like Nina made stuff up. She didn't make up this evidence. This is something that Carly and Drew actually did. So, I get Michael being like, oh, well, she didn't profit from it and she lost a lot of money. It's like, but she still did it though. We're just gonna just go over that because I get that she's your mom, but it's still a thing.
Yeah, they're guilty. Her, Carly, and Drew are both guilty of the crime. Whether he should be in jail or not is one thing, but they did commit the crime.
Yeah. And now you got. I feel like I had a thought in my head and it just went out for some odd reason. But now, my whole thing is I'm sitting there thinking that if Nina finds out that Michael was trying to throw Sonny in jail, she could sit there and try to blackmail him about that. And I feel like that's what's most likely going to wind up happening.
That would be interesting. And then, but I need Willow to find out that Nina's blackmailing Michael first. If that's gonna happen, then I need Willow to find out about it.
Hmm. And you know, Dex thought it was bad when he was on the meat hook before. Now, once he finds out, is he's going to be a rat.
That's possible. I don't know. I'm not. I can't predict how Sonny is gonna react to anything nowadays because it's so much of Mike in him now. Like the way it played out with Gladys, I couldn't believe that he just let Gladys live, sent her back to her hometown. Like that was punishment enough. Like he took off his coat, he told her to confess for her soul, made it seem like he was really about to put her in the pound barrels. I thought we was gonna see old Sonny. Nope, gave her ride home.
But I mean, did you really? I mean, if it's one thing, because if that wasn't his blood, then I could sit there and see that. But the fact that they are related, you would have really thought that he would actually did that though. Because I feel like that was more theater than anything else.
I think something should have happened. There should have been some type of consequences, even if it wasn't something violent. It should have been more. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, what Gladys did was against the law. If nothing else, she should. If Dr. Montague is going to jail for what he did, then Gladys should be going to jail for what she did.
I agree. I agree. I agree. And maybe you're right. I think there's probably a little Mike in him still because, maybe he's not there looking at that and be like, well, my dad wouldn't want, Gladys to, I don't know, he had a soft spot for Gladys for some odd reason that's
Mike didn't know
beyond me.
that. He didn't remember her when she died. When he died.
Yeah,
Oh, that's not a nice joke to make. Sorry, but he didn't remember her. He didn't remember anybody barely.
yeah. Um, yeah. What the hell is that? What the? Oh, 'cause I've been jumping around all day and stuff like that. You know, when I'm sitting there talking about like 34 people. Um, so Sasha's, I don't know if the actress is leaving because you know Sasha is leaving, which I'm totally fine with because she's giving us some really good stories. You know, some dark stories that may be too dark for some people, but they were good, compelling stories. So I think you know I'm cool with her leaving. You know.
I mean, I see why Sasha wants to leave. There's been nothing but misery since she came to Port Charles. There was a window of happiness, a little small window of happiness with Brando. But other than that, it's been tragic event after tragic event. So I can see why the character wants to leave. If they're gonna keep making her suffer, then I would rather her leave. But I really do like the actress, and I would like for her to, at least if she's gonna leave, go out on a happy note, like something good, bringing taking her out of town. I don't know if I want to see this forced love story between her and Cody. I I don't think he's the worst character on the canvas anymore, but it's still very painful how they forced him to like be a hero for this story. Um, I still don't find him very compelling at all. He's okay.
Do you think that they forced him to be a hero because they knew you know they were aware of the reception that he got you know once he you know since he was in town even when he started off people were just like oh I can't stand Cody. I'm just like I think there was only a couple people was like I don't think he's that bad, but I
He
think
was
that's what he
awful.
tried to.
I'm sorry. I mean to talk over
No,
top.
no, 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 no. What would you want to say?
He was awful. I think the way that they wrote him in to be a love interest for Britt, he was so forceful with it, and it was like nothing appealing about him. Maybe his body, maybe, but the way that he treated Britt, it was no reason for her to accept his advances. And so I do think that they tried to give him a different love story with Sasha, and kind of merge those stories and make him redeem him, make him the hero. But in doing so, they made Gladys a villain. And if they would have showed us the behind the scenes of how it played out, Cody couldn't have been a hero, because Cody is part of the reason that Gladys lost all that money. Like, it wasn't just that he was in the poker games. Miss Wu paid him to rig the poker games. He helped make sure Gladys lost to get the money. So he played more of a role in that than they want to show us now. But I think if they would always say, I wish we would have seen the poker games. But if they would have shown us, Gladys trying to get up from the table, Gladys trying to walk away, her trying to resist the urge to play, and Cody reeling her back in, I think it would have made us see a softer side of Gladys and have slightly more compassion for her, and be harder to see Cody as the hero running in on his horse at the end of the day, because he played a part in it.
It's actually really interesting. I never actually looked at it that way. Like that, like I've never looked at it that way until you just said something.
Yeah, he wasn't. Not that he had to be a good guy, but like, he was a car sharp, and he was working for Miss Wu, but like he accepted the job.
Hmm, very good point. Well, I just learned something new. I just wow. And speaking of Miss Wu, what do you think of her?
I love Miss Wu. Loved Miss Wu. I don't know who she is right now because everybody's talking. No cursing. You got characters who are just very comfortable, like disrespecting her. Not just Sunny. That's bad enough, but just regular people. Marshall, Stella. Like, that's not how you treat a crime boss. That's not the Miss Wu that I was introduced to. Like, she was scary. I remember when they first brought her on, and how she was over the past year or so was very intimidating. But when other characters respond to her the way that they do, brushing her off, it makes her less scary. And I don't like that, because I think the character has a lot of potential.
I agree with that. Let me just read what Johnson said. And also, thank you, Johnson. Thank you so much. Johnson says, I really hope Sasha stays because I still believe that she's part of the Weber family and that Steve Weber is her father, and I want that character to return to see if that plays out.
Hmm. I don't care too much for Steve Weber, but that's Elizabeth's father, right?
I
No,
either
that's
that or
Jess. Who is Steve Weber then?
is that her brother? I think that's her brother.
Stephen Lars? That's what Heather calls it, Stephen Lars. Oh, okay. Um, sure, why not?
Yeah, and again, thank you, Jonathan. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like you said, people sit there and talk to a certain type of way. And my whole thing is like, does that just make you look weak as far as like the criminal world and just like ordinary people can sit there and just talk to you in any sort of way that they want? You're supposed to be some sort of crime boss. It's like if Portia and Hat Guy is not taking you seriously, why should whatever rivalry come in and take her that seriously? You know?
Yeah, the only time she was scary recently is when she had dude beat up Cody, which I enjoy very much. But you got to do more than that. Have a temper
Steve,
tantrum and throw some stuff like Sonny. When Sonny gets mad, stuff hits the floor. He'll sweep stuff off of his desk.
hmm. Thank you, Johnson. Johnson says Stephen Weber is Elizabeth's brother. Okay.
Yeah, they act like he doesn't exist anymore. And I think he should be out of jail by now. Him and Matt Hunter too. But I don't care too much for Matt. He was kind of boring.
Yeah, it was kind of. I mean, it's kind of weird that they threw him in. They threw him in. He was Maxie's love interest, and that didn't really go anywhere. And plus, they had a different person playing Maxie, which I was not a fan of. So it nothing. It didn't really matter at that point.
She gets a hard time. Jen Lilly, I think is her name. I think she did okay with Maxine. There's only one Kristen Storms, but I think she did all right. It was a trashy storyline to make her so in love with Matt that she was willing to go to prison for murder because he didn't remember doing it. Girl.
Hmm. Yeah, I almost forgot that it was the same. Now, what happened to the dad?
Oh, it's Rick Springfield, Noah.
Yeah,
I don't know. He used to come back for the nurses' ball every once in a while. Thank God that hasn't happened recently.
what you didn't like the nurses' ball?
No, I don't. I don't like it when some of the performances. I didn't care too much for Rick Springfield for Noah performing. I wish John Stamos would come back. I think that would be cool to see.
I actually met him one time, Rick Springs, Rick, I think like a couple of years ago. Yeah, he came when I was working at a bookstore. He actually came there to do like a book signing and stuff like that. So I went up seeing him. He's chill. So
That's nice.
we also met Susan Lucci, and she's also pretty nice.
I think I would get that tattooed on my forehead if I had met Susan Lucci.
Yeah, she's really sweet. And the thing that was a little kind of weird is like I met her and I almost felt like I was talking to Erica Kane. Like just the way she
Sure.
was sitting there talking and like her mannerisms and everything like that. It was like it was cool, but it was kind of weird though. I was like, all my children is not on still, right? Like, it's just I don't know, just the way maybe the way she was talking. And I think also she's been playing the character so long is like I don't know if it became kind of part of her a little bit, you know?
If I ever meet Susan Lucci, I'm gonna act like she's Erica Kane too. Like I'm her. She's a great actress. I can't believe it took her so long to get the Emmy. If I remember correctly, it's like the year she won. It wasn't her best story either. She was a part of so many good stories.
What do you think of this whole Blaze and Christina thing?
Hmm, that's a good question. I'm willing to wait and see and watch and see, but it's hard for me to have too much faith in any relationship that Christina's a part of because Christina, like I find myself when I was watching the new actress, when I watch her scenes, I find myself frustrated because I get annoyed with Christina and I want to like Christina. But that's often how I felt about Christina over the years. I've always wanted to like Christina and I'm always annoyed by the decisions she makes. So maybe the actress is doing a good job. I don't know. I just hope that I hope it's a good story. I hope it's a good if they're doing a love story for them, I hope it's a good story and they give them time. I don't want it to be like Bold and the Beautiful. RJ and Luna, just out of nowhere, all of a sudden they have to be together. You can't see her leave when they were in like two scenes together. I don't want it to be like that. Like, give it some depth.
Now, just switching over to the Bold and the Beautiful, what do you think of Luna so far?
She's good at making sad faces. I like Lee, even though I think that Lee is a villain. We're putting Lee in villain category, and I'm okay with that because she's funny. Every time she said anything to Luna that was very spiteful and hateful, I just laughed. Because it's so mean. For what? What is going on? There must be some
and
secret or some
and your
reason.
first thought is laughing.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I love it when Lee talk with an attitude. I don't know why. It's just so funny to me. My favorite was when she was talking to Finn and Finn was telling her about him hugging Sheila. She was like, "You hugged Sheila? I see why Steffi left you." I'm sorry. It was so funny. Sometimes these characters need to be talked to understand how stupid this stuff they're doing is. And I get it that it does very much seem like Lee is being mean to Luna unnecessarily. But I do hope that there is some story behind it. Like there's some reason coming out. But even if it's not, I'm okay. I don't know Luna. I know that she's not gonna stay around long on Bold and the Beautiful, so no reason for me to get attached. Paris, who? She's still in the opening credits though.
Yeah, so, well, at one point, so was Michelle Stanford. Stafford. What's good, Janet? Oh, Kyrie's the one and only. Kyrie says, "I'm back. So wonderful to see the Queen Nakesha on screen. Martin should grow some balls. Who cares about the 5 foot, 5 feet of fury son he had? He's soft."
He's very Mikish. He just like let a lot of stuff go that he wouldn't let go before. Hey, Kyrie, I didn't say. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and yeah, I just thought about that. I was like, um, I almost actually got her name for a hot minute. Paris and who was the other guy that he
Zende.
was Zende? Yeah, they're just in the background, so it's like it doesn't really matter at this point. They're in the attic. That's what they sit there and say to the characters that they don't have anymore. They just put them in the attic and kind of forget about them.
No, they should have had Zende. Instead of RJ being the designer working with Eric, it should have been Zende. Zende was already working with Eric for the other line that they said didn't do well, so they had to bring Thomas back in to save the day. But like you already had Zende on the canvas in that role, that story should have been him. And then if they were going to bring RJ back, they could have given him something of his own instead of acting like Zende is invisible, doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely not cool. And same thing with Paris and stuff like that. Now, granted, I don't know what the actress is doing because I know she's on another show, but it's not like they couldn't have sat there and used her if they really, they could try to fit it in and make it work. Um, so you got that whole thing. Just switching back to GH, what do you think of Lois' return?
I'm excited. I just hope that they do something with her. I don't want her to just be there to support. I know she's gonna be a supporting character, but I just hope they use her well. For the amount of time we have her, please use her wisely. I was glad to see she still got the nails, even though a little more conservative. I get that it's been 20 years, but she still got the accent. It's toned down a little bit, but it seems like Rena very much remembered the character herself, and she slipped into her pretty well. So I was excited when she, even though I don't like Olivia's screaming, I don't really like the screaming of characters, like Portia the squealing. I don't really like that. But I like the scene with Lois and Olivia reunited and screaming together. It felt very authentic. I can even deal with Brooklyn in a scene if it's with Lois. Who knew?
You're not a fan of Brooklyn?
That's not Brooklyn. I don't know who that imposter is.
Oh,
If
damn.
you want
Okay.
to see Brooklyn on General Hospital, please go on YouTube and search Adrian Leon as Brooklyn Quartermain on GH, and that's when you will find the real Brooklyn.
The one that can actually sing.
The one who can really sing and who's sexy and confident and sassy and seems like a Quartermain, not like a whimpering, simpering little kitten who needs
Hmm.
other people to stand up for her.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
It is crazy though. Like you said, then you look back at some of the characters that they had compared to what they have now and what they can do and what they can't do, storylines that they can tell. You know, like I always sit there and I go back to like the hotel fires and the Metro hostage scenes and stuff like that. We had like everyone that was involved. You don't get that anymore.
And if you do, it's bad and it doesn't make sense. Like today, I was so conflicted and torn, which a lot of my time with General Hospital was conflicted and torn because it sucks, but it used to be great. But watching the scene between Carly and Sam, and I remember years ago, I wanted them to be friends. Like I wanted them to get over the feud of Sonny and Jason and them to be able to have a friendship. But now that it's there, it's so weird because they've made Sam nothing of a character. So it's like you just bring her up to prop up other characters. And so she's there for Carly to lean on her. But that's her baby daddy in jail too. Like she doesn't get to have a perspective and feelings and care about anything. It's just to be there to so Carly can have some exposition. I don't like them wasting her. She's been 20 years of this character that I've like fallen in love with over the years and grieved with and mourned with and celebrated with. And they're using her for not for filler scenes. I don't like that. So that scene
Yeah,
could have been pretty powerful, but I was disconnected from it.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Thank you, Carrie. Carrie says Hope Thomas should at least disinfect it with bleach. Yeah, because that see that again, the disrespect with Eric is real. People sit there and think, you know, I'm just talking crazy, but I'm like, you're doing that stuff in his office, on his desk. I'm like, you had an office of your own. Y'all could have stayed there. Y'all decided to take it to his office. But then people were just like, well, I don't understand why Eric is so upset. I'm like, really?
He
Really?
put a camera in his office. I had a camera in my living room. And Brooke had the nerve to, why is the door locked? Brooke, you know why that door locked. You know what doors locked around here mean. It's so
I'm
nasty.
pretty sure she probably actually had a couple of times with Ridge or whatever. Why is the door like, really, boo?
I'm sure. It's just so weird. I've never worked at a place where I've had a fear that like my coworkers are having sex on the couches and surfaces.
Yeah, that's crazy. Dolly says, remember when Sam and Carly used to throw hands? I miss those days. Thank you, Dolly. And yeah, I remember that too. I
Mm-hmm.
remember the bar fight.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't remember a specific fight, but I know they
It
used to
was
get into it a lot. Cause Carly deserved it. Carly always running her mouth. But I like Carly and I like Sam. But and the tension between Carly and Sam, a lot of times it was Carly's fault. She was so damn jealous.
in Possessive. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, of Sonny and Jason.
You know, I always found that to be so weird. And thank you, Dolly. Thank you so much. I always found that to be so weird. It's like I never understood. You know, I understand that Jason was her best friend, but it's that, that would never. I feel like that would make so many men uncomfortable if another one was that close to their guy friend. I couldn't see that working in any scenario except for a soap opera. Like
Yeah, it
General.
was a threesome though. Sonny and Jason loved each other too. That's why it worked because they all loved each other. As nasty as it was, like Jason and Sonny were also in love with each other. So Jason would have done just like he would have done anything for Carly. He would have done anything for Sonny more than Carly. Sonny was number one in Jason. Carly was number two.
Yeah, that's interesting. Actually, I just realized that Laura Ray had actually been on the show for 18 years.
Wow. I remember. Do you remember when she came on? Do you remember what her first big story was? It was an umbrella story, if I remember correctly. But I'm old, so I might be mixing stuff up. But I
I
think I.
I know that she just came out of being out of that coma, or whatever. I think that's what that was.
She
Or
was
maybe
down.
I'm wrong
She was in
about
a
that.
crazy place. She was in one of the crazy houses because we had the crazy Carly, Jennifer Bransford, I think is her name, that we don't
Yeah,
talk
the
about.
one that exactly.
And she went to Ferncliff or Shady Brook or somewhere. And when she came out, it was Laura Wright. But right after that, they did the it was a bus and a train crash, all the kids was a school bus. There was some trip or something. Like Michael was there, Christina was there. I can't remember who else. Somebody got hurt. Maxie might have
Morgan.
even.
Morgan was there. I remember Morgan was there.
I miss Morgan so much. I would love to have Morgan back. I would believe any story, any badass story, any bad story they would write, how cringy it would be. I wouldn't even care. I would take it just to take Morgan back from the dead. If it could be the same actor, I would love to have him back. Because I think Avery's his child. He need to come back for his daughter. Y'all always give Carly a hard time for treating Avery like she's her daughter, but that's her grandchild. That's her grandbaby. Her and Sonny rigged that DNA test. I remember. They didn't show it happen on screen, but it was heavily implied. And I remember seeing the breadcrumbs and say, they're setting up this story. One day we're going to find out that Avery is Morgan's. And I still believe it. I hold out faith.
He actually came back. He came back in a dream that Ava had. He came back in that one episode, and I was so mad when it was just when I realized it was a dream. I was like, well, so much for that.
You couldn't ask for a better Corinthos child than what they did with Morgan and Brian's portrayal of Morgan. It's exactly what a Sonny Corinthos' child should be. He was so good.
But I also feel that Michael also does a good job though too, because there's a lot of times I've seen him channel more his mother's side, you know, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think Michael does a good job of being a Quartermain and a Corinthos and a Spencer. Um, because he's very good at switching back and forth from being like kind of shady and nefarious to being like legally ruthless in a Quartermain way, like using his business skills to cut someone down. Like most of the time, I don't know, I won't say that. I want to like Michael. I love Michael as a character. I feel like he's my child. I raised him. Um, but the writing around him the past few years, it's just he spends so much time being obsessed with Sonny and the revenge that it made me forget who Michael was. We have a few scenes here and there that kind of remind me, and I like it, but most of the time he's just hard to watch. And when he's with Willow, I don't see the chemistry, and I find their scenes to be boring. I think they need some tension in their relationship to make me care about them. I kind of liked Wiley today. I don't like Wiley. I don't like that kid, but he said something today that was like, maybe I like Wiley now. When he was talking about the relationship, when he said Nina's grandma Nina's a grandmother 2 times because she was already the grandmother one way and now she's a grandmother another way. Like he's a young kid, but he understands how messed up their family is. So if he will say more stuff like that to remind people, the adults around him, of how tangled up they are, then I might be a Wiley fan. He need to work on his dialogue.
Hmm. He's actually a twin though, right?
Yeah, most of the kids are. At least till they get to a certain age, because they can only work them for like a couple of hours. So they get doubles.
Oh, okay. I didn't real. Okay. And that's it's funny too because I was thinking about Willow yesterday. I was like, she used to actually have some good stories. Like she used to be good when she was with Chase. She had the whole thing with Nell, the whole Donna Day stuff. She had some good stuff, but now it's like, and I feel bad for the actress because I know that she had to do the whole contract negotiations. And I'm just like, well, besides getting paid, like, what do they got you doing compared to what you were doing back then?
Hey, if I can get a job that the only benefit is that I get paid, I'll take that job.
I think you would get bored. I think you would be bored after a while.
Mm, I'll take being bored at work. Yeah, I liked Willow too. I really liked her when they first brought her on. Well, first they brought her on, I didn't know what her story was gonna be, and then once I realized what her story was, dead baby, I was like, I'm not really a fan. You can't introduce me to this character for suffering and expect me to feel for her. But the way they integrated her story with Nell and Michael and with Chase, I really became attached more to the character with her storyline of with Chase, with her love story with Chase, of not only just the grieving, but how like she had to build herself back up and he was there to support her. And he was so good at being supportive without being overbearing. And without, even with the acting, I think the actor made several good choices to be like in the backgrounds of scenes, a lot of listening and letting Willow emote and kind of not having the spotlight on him. It was pretty good. But now, uh, got Chase in Brooklyn. I don't care.
um, now, what do you think of do you think that Mason's character would be considered like morally gray at this point?
I think we have a wonderful actor who tries to play it that way, but I don't know if it's written that way. Um, I don't see. I think there could be a way out. There could be some redemption from Mason because we know that he's working for Cyrus, but like it's not just that he's on the payroll. Cyrus is forcing him. He's threatening him, right? So if they lean into that, if there maybe is there something else besides the trucking company that Cyrus is holding against Mason? Maybe Mason has a kid, like or something like that, to where we can understand his why a little bit more. I would love for them to keep Mason around. I don't know if people remember, but we didn't care about Austin. Like we were annoyed by Austin scenes. We were annoyed by his existence. He was not fun to watch. It was not entertaining. It wasn't until Mason started popping up, what up, cuz, that it was interesting and engaging at all. And then trying to figure out, what the mystery was. Right now, I feel like they're gonna make Austin like Cyrus's daddy.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to. Well, I have to tell you, I feel like everyone feels like it's going in that direction.
But why? So his mom lied about him being a quartermain for
Well, to
what?
be fair, it wasn't like they were really doing much with the Quartermain connection anyway. So it's like at this point, why not? You know?
There's so many lost quartermains out there. I wish that we could bring like some of them back. I would love to see a resurgence of like the War family, or even like Sky. If Sky could came back with Lila Ray to the team scene. Like I
Yeah,
miss all the drama and shenanigans in the Quartermain living room. Well, it's not the same living room anymore, so it's kind of not the same. But I still wish they shoot many scenes there now. But I don't care about Eddie Main. Olivia gets on my nerves. Brooklyn is that's not Brooklyn. It's like you don't have any authentic Quartermains in that house causing drama.
what's up for Tracy?
Yeah, Tracy doing Tracy things. I don't know why people are still surprised at Tracy's lack of conscience. Like that is essential to her character. Tracy is ruthless, right? Like Tracy don't care about nobody. She barely let Luke love her.
Yeah, but again, just before we move to another one, what do you think? How do you think that they handled the whole Luke storyline?
The dying,
Just the whole conclusion. 'Cause, they yeah, exactly, yeah, the dying, yes.
not great, but I don't know how they could have did it better considering the circumstance. I don't think Anthony Gary's gonna come back. I don't think he has any desire to. I don't think General Hospital really wants. As long as Luke is dead, Luke is the hero who was an adventurer and did all of these things. If he's back on the show, then because you have so much social media and fan engagement, if Anthony Geary comes back to the show and Luke is a character again, you're gonna have to deal with the things that he did. Like this is post Me Too. Like I said, we're in an area of social media. People are gonna they're gonna have to have that conversation, and I don't know that there's a correct way to do that. Like times have changed, and I'm not saying anybody's like evil for the story. It's wild to me that that's the story they told, but also know that like I was part. Well, I can't really claim any responsibility for the Luke and Laura stuff, but for Todd Manning, I was a big Todd fan. So it's kind of I don't know how much smoke I can bring for that story when like I was part of the fandom. I was part of the way that played out. Like I was one of the fans. If it wasn't for the fans, they wouldn't have let that story play out the way that it did. I think a lot of us enjoyed it. It's a credit to the acting because I don't. You have to be very talented to be able to take fans from outrage to love just with a storyline. And I remember when they showed what Todd did to Mario, it was awful. Like, and they didn't like try to make it shiny or pretty. It was very obvious what it was, and they showed flashbacks during the trial and everything. But then I don't remember how long it took, but it couldn't have been more than a year or two. Um, they had Todd out and engaging with little Jessica, and I can't remember the other boy's name. Maybe even Sarah. I think it was Sarah actually. She ended up being Flash. Sarah and CJ, the little kids, and anyway, they used the his engagement with the kids and him hiding out on the property, Vicky's property, and how kind he was with the kids to kind of ease him into us again. And then they made us think he had DID, and even though he was faking, it was still very compelling. But then you found out at the end that it's the same way Vicky's mental illness was because of what her dad did to her. Todd's mental illness, evilness, whatever, was because of what his dad put him through. Because his dad it wasn't the same kind of abuse, but he was abusive. Do I like Audra?
Jenna asked, yeah.
I can't allow myself to like Audra because please nobody be offended by this, but I've learned on Young and the Restless, any character that is not black or not white, don't get attached to because they're not staying long. I love Lola. I love the Rosales family. I like the little Allie for the 5 minutes that she was there, but they don't get to stay long. So I'm not gonna like myself like Audra because if I like her, then she'll disappear. I like that she makes the story interesting. Kyle is more interesting when he's in a scene with her. I I think she's good for what she's bringing to it, but I'm not gonna be like an Audra fan.
What do you think about the whole Nick, Sally, and Adam love triangle thing that they got going on?
It's ridiculous, but I like Sally, and I don't know what it would take for me to not like Sally. I think Sally is a strong, dynamic, compelling character, and I think Bold and the Beautiful, like, they struck gold with her. And when they got the actress Courtney Hope, I don't think that happens that often where you have a character who is so much fun to watch and an actress who breathes life into them. Even when they made her do all the crazy stuff, when she had Flo chained to the radiator, I was like, "Go, Sally!" Why is this over Wyatt though? He's not a prize. But I didn't care about Flo. I cared about Sally. Um, it bothers me, and I know that it's hard because you have these women characters making these trashy decisions when it comes to men. But I wish, we also have to remember most of the writing is done by men. So when you have these characters of women doing this irrational, crazy stuff and acting in a way that doesn't seem right, that's because it's not right, because it's written by a man. And the only reason it still ends up being compelling is because you have such wonderful actresses. So I know the stuff Sally doing is crazy. Pick one. Why are you going between his brother and his brother? I don't blame the character, I blame the writer for writing such a trashy storyline for her. And Courtney Hope can do more than that. Sally, she don't need a baby. She didn't need to losing a baby story. She doesn't need a love triangle between two brothers. She could do so much more. Like, you don't have to write a typical soap opera cliche storyline for someone like that. Do I want Sheila to have a baby? Maybe. I don't think so. I would watch it. I would watch it. Sheila is a nurse, right? So maybe they can. I don't know, but I will watch it. I don't know what kind of miracle it would take, and maybe she'll have the baby on purpose because maybe little baby Hayes will need to transplant, and Sheila won't be a match, so she'll be like, I'm gonna have a baby to be a donor baby. I'd
You know,
watch it.
You know, when you actually explain it that way, that actually makes sense.
I can definitely see Sheila trying some way to be the hero. You know, she already saved the other baby, Kelly. Maybe she can save Hayes by having a baby of her own. I don't know if Deacon do his part is the question.
Hmm. Jenna says, Nakesha, do you like Hope and Finn?
I tried to. I wait, Hope and Finn. I saw Hope and Thomas. Back up. No, I don't like Hope and Finn. Finn exists for Steffi. That's why Finn is there. Finn, I like the fact that Finn only wants Steffi. I like Steffi most of the time, so I like his dedication to her. I like how he cares for his wife. He knows his place. He is Mr. Steffi Forrester. I do not want him looking at Hope any kind of way. I don't want that story.
Because you know, Hope at some point she was sitting there looking at Finn like I don't know, maybe he has a point. Maybe I should be with Thomas. What Finn is up to? I mean, she bursted in this. Well, she bursted in Steffi's place like she owned the place. I'm just like, bro, you don't lock your doors out here. Like y'all don't. Okay, all right, cool. That's fine.
Apparently not. Liam did that too. Everybody just walk him into their house. But on soap operas, people just walk into places anyway. Nobody locks the doors. And people don't say bye on telephone calls either. When they call each other, they don't just say bye. They just be like, okay, and hang up. Like, nobody talks like that in real life. You say goodbye before you just hang up the phone.
Yeah, I did that. I did that with James. Even though I was on there for a little bit, I was like, all right, bye everyone. Of course, I did have to sit there and have bragging rights. So like, I'm gonna be on for Nakesha tonight, so I just want to sit there
Oh,
and throw that in there. Of
thank you. I'm glad I was able to come. Appreciate you having me. It's
course,
weird not being able to come to the chat. Most of the time, I'm getting ready for work on my way to work when you guys are at it.
is it a different time zone out there, or is it just like you just work like later?
I work 10 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Oh,
I'm
you
a,
work
I'm in Virginia.
graveyard shift.
Yeah, I don't hate it though. I actually like it. It's just an adjustment.
Because you guys practically like sleep in the daytime. Like if you do, I imagine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely sleep in the daytime. I have to.
And so, what you watch the soap operas like? How do you do that?
It depends. Maybe if I have time, then I'll sit with the kids and watch it like during dinner before I go to work. Or sometimes like I'll just listen to the audio at work. If you don't tell my job that I do that. To try to stay up to date. I
You
try to
watch
watch General Hospital.
GH? Yeah, I was gonna sit there and say.
It's the one I always try to at least watch. But like, Bold and the Beautiful, Young and the Restless, I may put on just to listen to or watch the reviews just to see what's going on. But I try to watch General Hospital. Cause then if I'm afraid that I'll see spoilers or something. I couldn't believe the wedding happened. I got spoiled to find out the wedding that they actually went through at the wedding before it happened. Because my DVR didn't record that day. So I had to wait for Hulu.
That must have been fun because I know sometimes with Hulu, they'll sit there and be like, "Oh, it's gonna come on at 8 o'clock," and it's like 10 o'clock, and it's like, yeah, it's not. It's still not on. It happens every now and then, and it's annoying.
Most of the time my DVR catches it. I guess because we missed that one day where it was preempted, I guess it threw stuff off. I don't know why. I have it set for new and repeat, but you know.
And then you know how it is in the chat because we're always talking about it because sometimes DC come and be like, "Oh man, I didn't need to sit there and know this." I was like, "Bro, you know how we do in the chat."
Mm, yeah, you should know. It's easy to get spoiled, especially with like Young and the Restless, where they show the a day ahead online. You can watch it.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, Chief, I'm probably gonna sit there and watch like maybe 2 minutes before I go to bed of Young and Restless, so I can get somewhat caught up on tomorrow. Because I always call tomorrow a hell day because it's forever, and it's like I feel like there's so much pressure between trying to get home, watch the shows, then get ready for the live stream. So fun stuff.
I'm interested to see. I saw like 20 minutes of Tomorrow's Young and the Restless. I'm interested to see what you say about it. I'm not going to say what I'm my question, but I'm interested to see how you perceive a certain scene.
Okay.
Um,
I did enjoy today's episode, so for the most part.
what happened today?
I know it was just like Adam and Sally, they were going at it, and that was a whole mess. And I don't get those two. You know, I don't. But I know a lot of people like Sally, so she annoys me sometimes. I'll sit there and put it that way. I'll put it lightly since I know you like Sally.
It's okay. You can say how you feel. It's not going to impact me. I do like Sally, and I give her the benefit of the doubt even more now than I did before. Because like I know that she suffered a loss, right? So did Adam. I know. So did Adam. It's not just the mother; it's the father. But a woman's body, their mind, their hormones, all of that, the same way the baby grows, and the baby starts out like this, and the baby grows like this. The baby has a life path of growth that's supposed to happen from 0 weeks to 40 weeks. They say it's 9 months, but it's really 10 months. A woman's pregnant 10 months. 40 weeks is 10 months. There's development that happens. A woman's body is made to go along with that. So there are like fluctuations and hormones and chemicals that are released along that same timetable. And so when there's a premature birth, subsequent death, that path gets cut short for the mom too. So like there was still all these things that was supposed to happen in her body over a period of 4 months that had to happen in a day. And like you can't like there's no way around that. There's no way around like the impending depression and grief. So I know that Sally was very cruel to Adam afterward, but Sally was out of her mind. Like I believe that if any woman in that situation could go out and shoot somebody and get away with it for temporary insanity. After that, they had a good doctor. Like her brain just wasn't in the right place. And I know that's a lot of faith to pour into a character over realistic stuff, but that's how I that's how I relate to a lot of the shows. Even you mix up reality and fantasy. I've been watching the show my whole life, so the part of the reason that I attach myself to the characters is because reality kind of fades into it. I'm not crazy though. I understand what's real and what's not. I'm
I
not
know.
delusional, but I know that like I have a soft spot in my heart for Sally because I I don't know if people even think about it that way. If even women in that situation even look at it that way. Like I know from personal experience because I had to research like what is happening to me. Why do I not feel sane? Like I'm very smart. What is happening? Why am I having all these crazy thoughts? And it's like there's no other way. Like you just have to. It takes time for your body to even out, your mind to even out, and it's like the worst time to be trying to like practice good mental health. So I'm gonna be on Sally's side. I do like Sally and Adam together. Their chemistry is insane. Um, but he was cruel to her too, and she was cruel to him. So I feel like I don't know how they could have a healthy relationship in Genoa City. Because if Adam is around the Newmans, he's plotting revenge. I don't care what he say. He got a plan. He's trying to hurt somebody. And that's okay. I like Adam kind of toxic. I just don't know how him and Sally can have a healthy relationship with where he's at in his life. And where she's at in her life. She owes Nick money now. That's weird.
Yeah, and yeah, that's I was gonna sit there and say that Ron says ask Nakesha, what is her take on fans who harassing Marcus for bad writing, which is not his fault.
So I don't know that happened. I don't know that fans were harassing him because of the writing, right? So I can't necessarily give my opinion on that. I will say that I do think the General Hospital writers wrote differently for him as Nicholas than they would have Tyler Christopher. I don't think that is Marcus's fault. But without seeing like specific posts or tweets, I can't really shape an opinion because I don't know if that's what happened or if that's your assumption of what happened, like how you perceived it. I'll say I don't think any actor should be harassed over the writing of a show. They're just doing their job. Like
Yeah.
the Gladys. Gladys is horrible. What she did to Sasha was horrible. But I give all the credit to Bonnie for it because she played the hell out of that part, and she could have played it. She could have played it like Gladys had remorse. She could have been tearing up a little bit. She could have seemed like she was authentic, but she didn't. When she was in scenes with Sasha telling what happened, when she was in scenes with Sonny telling what happened, it was very much a portrayal that was like, I'm phony, I'm full of it, I'm not being authentic. And I think that was the actress' choice because she could have made it more believable, but she chose to show us, nah, Gladys ain't
Yes.
nothing human here. So
Hmm.
to a certain extent, if Marcus Coloma was getting some smoke, maybe that's a good thing. And I don't mean he should be harassed. I just mean if they're giving him smoke because they hate Nicholas. Nicholas had sex with his daughter's girl. Nicholas deserved the smoke. He let the 19-year-old girl manipulate him into sex. He wasn't even
Yeah.
drunk. At least Nell drugged Sonny and made him think they did it. Nicholas was just like, oh, I want you to stay.
Yeah. 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 I can't listen. I can't defend that. Um, do you think they're gonna actually? I'm assuming that they're gonna have a new Nicholas because I don't think it's gonna be Adam Huss. Which I was fine with Adam Huss. I know some people weren't, but I was okay with him.
I think it's gonna be Adam. The only Nicholas I want is Tyler Christopher. I would celebrate. I would send Kyrie's flowers, and we would have champagne, have our own little party because we would be still happy. But I think it's gonna be Adam Huss because I think it's the Soap Dirt soap channel. In one of her videos, she said that she saw that how they have soap fan events, and you go to the events to see the actors and everything. That the actress that plays Esme and the actor that Adam Huss and the actress that plays Esme are doing a fan event in December, and there's no reason for him to do a fan event for General Hospital with Esme in December based on his 5 minutes of past work.
Yeah. Hmm. Well, I mean, I'm cool with it. I know some people probably aren't. They probably want a new Nicholas. So
He's not my favorite, and we haven't seen him do much, so I don't know how great he is. I know that I'm not going to love anybody as much as Tyler Christopher because what he did with that character, he grabbed me, 20 years ago. But I think that Adam understands what it means to be play a Cassadine a little bit more than Marcus did. I never really could buy Marcus as like a jaded, dark, haunted Cassadine whose mother abandoned him. Like he seemed more like of a whiny teenager to me. Versus Adam feels more like a Cassadine man. Like he might take you out, you have a good time, but he might kill you after. You don't know. And I think that's how the Cassadines live. I don't know if you remember Starvos and Stefan. I love Stefan. He was a good one. He was kind of the blueprint for me. I came into it like I said, I'm 40, so I don't remember. I don't remember much of Stavros with his initial interactions with Laura. I just remember the Cassadines basically from when Nicholas came on, when he saved Lulu's life with the bone marrow and confronted Lucky in the hospital. And Lucky was like, "Who are you?" And Nicholas was like, "You haven't figured it out yet? I'm here with my sister." Lucky was like, "That's my sister." But I'll give him his chance as much as I'll give anybody a chance. That's not Nick. That's not Tyler Christopher. He might be a great Connor Bishop. We'll see.
hmm. Just going back on Y&R, what do you think of Nicholas's character? Because I know a lot of people they don't like Nicholas because of XYZ. I'm new to the show, so I don't have that history of Team Adam or Team Nick or anything like that. But I don't know what's your thoughts on Nick.
I don't like Nick. Nick. I've watched too many stories in Nick where he say one thing and do another. He's very much a hypocrite. He acts like he's the anti-Adam, but like Adam done walked through glass. He saved his daughter's life. He saved Nick from the explosion or whatever, the storm, whatever was happening. it's just over and over. I've watched women be in relationship with Adam, and Adam be toxic. That's Adam. We know he's not gonna be the best person to you, best partner. But he may love you. He might stalk you. He might make you think he blind. I don't know. But Nick be there to like scoop up the leftovers, and just to get the women to the point where they love him, and then throw them away. Like that's what Nick did to Chelsea. That's what Nick would have done to Sage if she would have lived long enough. Sage is Connor's no, not Connor. What is that baby? I can't remember the kid's name, but Nick's kid that we never get to see. That's
Oh,
Adam's kid,
yeah.
actually. I still don't know why Adam is still letting Nick raise that child, or why Nick wants to. Because he's Adam. That's why. I think Nick is insecure of Adam, jealous of him. The only time I can tolerate Nick is when he's with Sharon and they're like together and happy and not like plotting about anything. I don't care too much for this business storyline with them. I'm glad Sharon isn't just pouring coffee now, but she's also not like a CEO. Maybe she has experience from before I started watching the show, but it was a fast switch to make it like she's capable.
It's Christian. That's his name. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Chad.
Thank you, Christian.
Have a good night, Crystal.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's ever been a time where I actually did like enjoy a Nick storyline that wasn't involved Sharon. I can't think of one. He's
See,
always self-righteous.
see, my whole thing is like when I sit there and look at it, because like I don't have the history that everyone else does, as far as seeing all the bad stuff and him being him being a hypocrite and stuff like that. I look at it and you know, people keeps me to saying, well, Nick needed to step back. Nick needed to let Adam and Sally have a chance. My whole thing is like Sally didn't want to be with Adam at one point, because of what Adam did. So it's like, but everyone wants to sit there and put all the blame on Nick. And I don't know, it just gets to a point where it's like, are we just going to blame pollution on Nick? It's like Nina after all. It's like Nina could sit there and literally save like a bus full of children, and people will still find reasons not to like Nina. I don't know. That's just
Is that a problem?
it's not. It's not. It's not a well. Sometimes I just look at it and I feel like there's a bit of tunnel vision. You know, it's like, okay, you want to sit there and get mad at Nick, but no one wants to sit there and be like, hey, why does Sally not sit there and say, you know what, I really want to be with Adam. Hide my feelings. I feel like Nick is safe. No one wants to sit there and say anything to Sally. It's just, it feels like Nick is just like the easy target. I don't know.
You're watching a soap like this is not that's not the type of genre that we're watching. When that as in soap fans, I don't think soap fans sit down to watch Young and the Restless and think, let me be neutral and unbiased and find out who's right and who's wrong. Like it's not a judge show. Like it's gonna I with my favorite characters, I can't have tunnel vision. But I think that's part of being a fan. And it's not gonna make me cross over and be crazy or outrageous, but like if you don't want to like Nick Newman, don't like Nick Newman. Like it's I think that I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. I think there is a line that fans can cross over to where the behavior is unacceptable. But I think just having a favorite character and having like seeing them in a one light and having your character you love to hate and seeing them in another light no matter what, I think that's part of what it is to be a soap fan. Like we have some weird opinions. Like we exist in a genre where we let people come back to death, where if somebody dies we almost expect them to come back. Like there's dead and then there's real dead. Like was there a body, was the head cut off? Like I think that's part of the fun. As long as fans are treating each other with respect, I think it's okay to have your faves. I think the problem is people have lost care of how to treat each other, how to treat each other in real life. I don't think the problem is the way fans feel about characters. I think the issues arise when fans don't know how to treat other fans, like in real life. Like we can have our opinions and disagree, But just because I would say some horrible stuff about a character, like Curtis, for example, I would never say that about a real person. I think
Ron asks, "Do you know who Phoenix Tremaine is?"
I do. I'm subscribed to him. I like Phoenix Tremaine.
Yeah,
I'm
I haven't
not.
watched his videos in a while, but
He does the spoilers, and then every once in a while he'll do like his opinion about something. But I watch his spoilers.
it's like Andre Epps. It's like I watch him whenever I get a chance to sit there and watch like stuff that he does on days and stuff.
I don't even know who that is. That's Andre Epps. The name
Yeah,
is familiar, but hmm.
yeah, he does a lot of Days of Our Lives content.
Oh, that's probably why. Cause I barely watch Days. I keep
Yeah,
up
I
with.
remember. I remember last time we talked about it, it's like the last storyline you watched was the whole Jada and Nicole thing, and that pretty much just kind of left like a bad taste in your mouth. At that point, it was like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. And then once they let her get pregnant, I was like, oh no, that is horrible. But
And
I think
Dolomit,
hmm?
no, I said Dolomit said that was summed up beautifully, Nakesha.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from, and as far as the respect and stuff like that, I can see that part. As far as people losing respect and then just being very disrespectful just because you like one person and you don't like this person or you shouldn't like this person. Yeah, but I mean to be fair, I feel like that's just with any fandom though. Like even Star Wars, which oof, if you thought soaps, sometimes people will act a little kind of crazy with soaps. See Star Wars fans, some Star Wars fans, I'll sit there and say.
Yeah, I generally don't consider myself like part of any fandoms. I would say soap operas is probably the one area of my life that I engage with where I consider myself part of the fandom and like I interact with other fans. I'll watch different reviews about different shows and maybe leave a comment, but yeah, soaps is definitely the only area where I engage with as many other people as I do on a regular basis. And I think most of the times it's fine. Most people are pretty great and mature and able to like separate fact from fiction and what's real from fake. But there are some people that I won't say cross the line because my line is my line, but just have a different approach to online stuff. And I barely do social media. I have it. I just don't get on it. I like being nice, and people don't want to be nice anymore.
Yeah, Janice says Nikisha is awesome, and Jess and Laura B agrees, which is true. It's a fact. It's science. Dolly says also Nicole is trifling on days. Thank you, Dolly.
She seems trifling. I've heard people talk about like her backstory. It seems like she been trifling. It might be fun to watch though. I gotta wait and see how this story plays out now. I know that she's pregnant, and I guess she's the victim in this story because she doesn't know that Sloan switched the test results, right?
Yep.
It's Eric's baby, but Nicole and Eric don't know that because Sloan changed the results because I know she changed the results and then she tried to get pregnant and then she lost the baby, or she lose the baby and then change the results.
No, she changed results and then she lost the baby because then and at that point she felt like it was karma and stuff. And Janice says you are very smart, and Kyrie says if there was more Nikisas in the world would be a much better place.
And more people would be able to pronounce Nakesha if they was around more Nakesha. I get called Nakesha a lot in my Ubers. Do I look like my name is Nakesha?
Well, to be fair, like I was able to pronounce your name right, but there's another person named Lakeisha that I couldn't pronounce her name for some odd reason. Which, when I actually looked up both your names, I was like, wow, I feel kind of dumb.
Oh, it's
It's
okay.
literally just put N with L. I was like, oh god.
I think she has an I in her, so at the end, a lot of people like mine's Kesha. They'll have a Kei or Kee or Kea. There's an extra vowel in there, so I can spell it differently.
So people do kind of mess up your name sometimes.
Oh, people mess up my name all the time. Like
Yeah.
I'll either be Nakesha or they'll just look at it and be like confused and be like they're gonna offend me by saying it wrong. Uh, I don't. It doesn't really bother me. I just correct them and move on. I'm used to it. Like I've had this
Well,
name out.
well, to be fair, when at first you sit there and sing Eliza, you sit there and call you Miss Moore. Because I didn't want to screw up your name because I was like, you're always in the chat, I actually like you and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to really mess up your name. Johnson says, Nakesha, you want to see happen? Would you want to see happen with Sloan after her deception is revealed? What would you want to see happen to her?
I don't know too much about Days, but from what I've seen, she seems like a good character. Like even though what she did was wrong, she seems pretty dynamic and feisty. Like she might be spicing up the canvas a little bit. So I wouldn't want to see her gone. I'm sure they have a crazy house, like General Hospital has a place where you go when you have your mental break and then you come back. Maybe she
Mm-hmm.
could go. She could have a mental break. Maybe I think I said this before, but maybe she could kidnap the baby after the baby's born, and then when they catch her, she can have it can be a mental break and she can go off to the crazy place for a few months and then come back and be all normal. Or maybe she gets pregnant again. But I don't really know that I want that. Not that I invested enough to have a like a want. But I do hate it on soap operas when you have actresses combined with good characters and they just do the typical thing and then have them like be pregnant or lose a baby or something that like any actress could do. So it might be nicer to see her do something different. I know she's a lawyer, so I'm sure she has plenty of scenes from that. But it would be nice to have her do something else to shake up things besides just faking a DNA test for Nicole.
I feel like that's something that Sammy would probably do back in the day. And thank you, John. Janice says Nakesha has a very pretty name. My good friend name is Lamasha. What?
Lamisha.
Lamisha. Okay.
Lamisha. Thank you, Janet. I haven't heard that one before.
Have a good night, Laura B. Thank you for joining. Um, and now everyone else, because the first time we did this, it was just members, and now everyone gets to sit there and see your awesome beauty and everything. So
That's very kind of you.
yeah. I think we kind of pretty much covered everything because I know you don't really watch days. Um, you don't really do you have like Peacock and stuff like that or
Yeah, I have to have Peacock. My son likes wrestling, so on
oh
everything WWE is on Peacock for $4.99 a month. So got Peacock.
and then I guess whenever you want you can sit there and just kind of check out days, just sit there and see what's going on or whatever.
Mm. I watch your reviews, but I watch Lanika's too, and she'll put in like clips of like the best scenes from the day or whatever. So when I watch her reviews, it gives me more, not just the idea of like what happened on it, but like the little quick scenes or whatever.
She's good like that. She's pretty much like the GOAT. I
She
rock with her.
I like Lanika a lot.
You support a lot of different people, which is like well, I always sit there and say it's one of the things that's so awesome about you because sometimes I see you in different people's comment section, like Nika. I always see you in James and stuff like that. Um, GH Sunday shifts, I've seen you that in there a couple of times. So it's like everyone, a lot of the creators they just love you. So
I just like talking about the shows. GH is my first love, so anybody want to talk about it, I'm here to talk about it as long as we have it, because it's no telling how long that'll be. I feel like any year could be the last.
but that's the thing. That's the thing about soaps. That's one of the things I would sit there and say I love about soaps that you when you like a character, you kind of really grow with a character. I mean, like you really grow with a character. You literally sit there and see them age on camera. You sit there and see their ups, their downs, their wins, their losses, and everything like that. And I think that's actually pretty cool. It's one of the only genres you can sit there and really sit there and and do that, you know?
It's true. I am a little nervous. I was nervous about the temporary writers coming in with GH. But one thing that they did that I liked was they actually sped up a lot of these stories. If it was up to the original writers, we would still be waiting for Sunny and Nina's wedding till February because it was supposed to be Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Right? Like Sprina's consummation of their relationship that happened. They sped up. They brought Lois back, and they also like put GH on a different timetable. And I feel like in another, because they were only a month ahead, I think Nathaniel said. So in another week, maybe 2 weeks, we'll start getting to seeing the work of the new writers. And I'm afraid they're gonna wind it back to that snail's pace of writing. You have to wait forever for things to come out. I don't really want that. I think
Yeah.
that the flaw of GH is how long they stretch your stories out to the point where you don't even care anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And trust me, usually when there's a slow scene like that or a slow episode like that, it's much more harder to review. Ron said Nakesha is very pretty, good looking. I thought she was Cardi B when Abby was talking about a guest.
Ron, you know you're supposed to get your eyes checked every year. And been for your checkup, but I appreciate you.
Nah, Nakesha looks much more prettier than Cardi B, personally.
Mm,
I would say.
I ain't got enough money to do all that. And Cardi B fixed it. I didn't fix mine.
No, you're naturally beautiful. So yeah. Any things you want to sit there and say before we get ready to close this out?
I don't think so. I think we touched everything. We talked about Young and Restless, Bold and Beautiful. Of course, GH. Nothing I can think of. Unless
Okay.
anybody else has anything.
I personally, and I'm gonna sit there and say, again, whenever you get time and stuff like that, I would definitely love to sit there and see you do like soap opera stuff, because you're very smart, you know the characters well, and I just think you'll be really good at it. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person in this chat that would sit there and agree with that.
I appreciate that.
Like I said, when I was, when I saw James, I was like, James, as such, I got Nakesha coming on tonight. Not to brag or anything like that, but just point it out.
I adore James. I went to a couple of his soap Zooms, but I haven't been forever. I don't know when I would be able to now with my schedule. But he's a good guy.
James is my guy. James is my guy. He got me into doing these live streams, so it's like, you know, I'm always going to be grateful for that. Janice says she is gorgeous, which is very true. Natural beauty. That's how it is. No, seriously, I want to thank you for coming on the channel though again. This is cool. This is fun.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I was excited. I had wanted to come on a week ago, but I could not. I took a nap, and next thing I woke up it was like 12 o'clock. It's like, oh, whoops. But
Well,
this,
like I sit there and say all the time, it's like whenever you want to sit there and come through, just let me know, and that's it.
I will definitely. Thank you.
Like I said,
Gotta wait
you
for
ought to
something
be
good
out
to
there to
happen.
group. Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
Billy and Jerome will come and be pikemen, and then I can come.
Oh,
Yes.
well, I always said, like Harry says, you ought to be outside the group. So, whenever you want to come through, that's just how it is. No, but I appreciate you coming through tonight, though. Thank you.
No,
It was
thank you.
actually really cool.
Appreciate
You
that.
actually have a really good perspective and really gave me some stuff to think about. So I appreciate that.
Thank you for saying that. I have all kinds of opinions. I'm happy to share them whenever.
Please do, because you'll definitely educate me. And I mean, just even on a serious note, it does help me when I do what I do. So I'm glad that I have somebody like you in my corner. So thank you.
I do. I am in your corner. I'm glad you know that. Like I do support your channel. I want the best for you. I hope to see you continue to grow and prosper. Um, Like, I have my favorites. I like different people. I watch, I support, but and I don't want to take anything away from James because James has his hat and I don't know how many different pots. And Lanikia is on here 5 days a week with all the shows most of the time. But I don't know if anybody is as consistent as you. Um, with the amount of hours you put into not just the lives, but the reviews and the consistency on a regular basis. Like you work this like a job for real. And I only hope that one day you can be like financially compensated to where that lines up with how much you actually put into it. Because like with what you put into your channel, you deserve to be successful in a way that can allow you even more capacity. So,
Well, thank you. No, I appreciate that. And I guess I always sit there and say, I'm as good as the people that I have with me. And you've been here for a while, and I'm eternally grateful for that. I am. I'm eternally grateful for that because I know with you, if I do something that's out of line, you'll sit there and be like, hey, you need to sit there and do this. You need, maybe sit there and show or whatever. And I appreciate that. I do. I do because that's what true friends will sit there and do for each other. So I appreciate that.
I'm
So
glad.
thank you.
Sometimes I have to wonder if I'm crossing lines because I'm quick to say something. It's just that sometimes, okay, so I'm a poet, spoken word artist. I have a history of performing, and the way that I used to carry my work was that every poem, every performance, this might be the first time somebody's seeing me. It might be the only time they seeing me. And the way like I think about you with your videos, when you say something, I'll be like, no. I think, what if this is a 30-second clip? What if this is someone who's never been in a chat before? And this is their only opinion of Albert is hearing him say this shit. So, oh, sorry. It's so good. So good. It was almost over. But like, what if I would hate for someone to take something that you say out of context and just have it stand on the actual words and not like the person that you are. Because when you're on the internet, it's very easy for people to do that. It's very easy for someone to hop in a chat for the first time, hear you say one thing and think, oh, this is what this is, I'm out. And never know the person that like I've gotten to see like I don't know, 2 years now. I don't know how long it's been, Albert. It's been a while. I know I've been a member for like 8 months, but I've been watching your channel a lot longer than I've been a official member. And so like there are things you say that I don't agree with, things I massively don't agree with. But like I don't think that those comments are necessarily a representation of who you are as a person. And I want people to be able to give you a chance. And so when I put my hand up and I say, hey, what about this? What about that? It's just I'm trying to like make space for nuance and like grace and like not just negativity. Because I don't think that's what you represent. I
Oh,
think
thank you.
easily get carried up in conversation and have negative opinions. We all do. Don't bring up Curtis. You'll know what happened with me. But I just, yeah, I don't know. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm rambling.
No, 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 no. It does, because I'm to tell you basically, it's coming from a place of love and respect. At the end of the day, so I can never sit there and look at you or anything that you say and be like it's out of pocket because I know it's coming from a good place. And I think that's what I love about doing this and love about having the people like you here because you're not coming at it with a disrespect or anything like that. It's just a place that hey, listen, you need to sit there and kind of just bring it back, just bring it down a little bit, and that's just coming from a place of respect and love. And so I do appreciate that. And that's for anyone else in the chat because that does help me do what I do. Sometimes I sit there and be like, maybe because one of my things that I sit there and do is I tend to let things go on for too long. That's something that I do. Either I get emotional about something or whatever, and I let it go on for too long. And sometimes I sit there and be like, you know what? I need to sit there and try to do better. And having people like you in my corner definitely does help me get better. So I always do appreciate that.
Well, you like being right. And you're a leader.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of in the DNA. Unfortunately, we do like to be right. And we like to be right loudly and don't like to be wrong and tend to be wrong a little quieter. than we were, right? But you know, nobody is perfect.
Yeah, but I got good people like you in my corner, so that definitely does help. So I do appreciate you a lot.
The feelings mutual, and everybody in chat. It was good to. I know I didn't really get to like talk to you guys as much, but I'm gonna be in the chat as much as I can before work, and I do miss talking to you guys, talking about the soaps and what's happening, the storylines. I know y'all was shocked. Nina, they actually got married too, and Sonny wrote his own vows. Please, no, you're not. And I doubt it's the first wedding he had on that island, but I can't remember the other weddings. But I'm sure all the women he had, he's married another woman on that island before. Had to.
Hmm. And people always need to ask, even when you're not here, people always need to ask about you though too. There's always like, where's Nakesha? How's Nakesha doing and stuff like that. So, your presence is always, if it's not there, then it's definitely missed.
I appreciate that. But I won't let you go because you got to work tomorrow's your hell day, right? Tuesday. It's a long day.
Absolutely. But, I had to sit there and chop it up with you because, when I get a chance to sit there and talk to you, it's like, it's always good. Thank you, Dom. Seriously, I appreciate you. And I
Thank you.
appreciate everyone here tonight. Thank you so much. You got to sit there and hang out with the queen herself, Queen Nakesha, the Beyonce of the group. So thank you. And I will see y'all back tomorrow. So stay safe and have a good night. Laters.